Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Wake up every morning at 3 a.m. because that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit-chat talk with the fake friends.
I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need to drive, I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Kingdom Business Builders with America's coach, Clay Clark. We're going to be with Clay in just a moment. First is Kingdom Essentials. Start each day with the Kingdom Essentials. All in one pack makes it incredibly easy to take all your vitamins in one hit. 20% off sale from Wednesday, so grab that today. Purely Prepared Patriot. This is my go-to, 40% off hydroxychloroquine, Fenbin, ivermectin, no prescription. Hearing lots of great stories about the combination of Fenbin and ivermectin to clean our bodies out. So get that today. Just the FDA, just yesterday, said ivermectin is good for COVID. Imagine that. All right, Chronology, buy one, get one free, and free shipping. This is how I sleep every night. Also, they have the Cowboy Up brand, which is for your animals, your dogs, your cows, everything. We're going to be playing a video today on the war report of our bull Boaz. He is a case study for Cowboy Up. He went from barely walking I saw him sprinting across the ranch this morning in feeding time. So that's a testimony to Cowboy Up. All right. His Glory Tree Fund. The His Glory Tree Fund offers you the opportunity to plant a legacy of faith and hope at the His Glory Ranch. Your contribution will enhance the natural beauty of the ranch and symbolize a lasting commitment to God's creation. We have 3 tiers to choose from, each uniquely impacting the land that God has given to His glory. For those who feel like calling to donate to the tier Everlasting Legacy, His Glory will place a plaque with your name on it in the new trees. This is going to be the area where we're building out next year our worship center. So lots of good stuff going on the ranch in Texas. All right, those are the announcements. It's time for Clay Clark. Clay Clark, we're here.
And we're back. Hopefully the internet connection is working, Dave. We've got a call into Cox Communications, so hopefully they'll give us, we'll exit the nuclear winter of the internet connection. But I will say, 27 days-ish into the Sherwood-only diet here. I'm down 14 pounds, and my internet is perpetually freezing in the office. Those are the 2 side effects that I know of right now. I've lost 14 pounds. I know the internet is perpetually freezing in the office. So, Dave, perhaps good news, perhaps bad news, but the Sherwood.tv, since I've taken the Sherwood.tv protocol of eating only the Sherwood supplementation, I'm down 14 pounds and my internet is perpetually foggy. So I'm not sure if there's a connection, Dave, but that's what I know so far.
Yeah, Kingdom Fuel works.
It does. It does. Now, Dave, on today's show, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about SMART goals and setting SMART goals. Goals specifically, obviously, many of your wonderful listeners are going to be joining Eric Trump, yourself, myself, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, September 25, 26, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the upcoming workshop. Again, we've got Eric Trump joining us right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But I think when you come to these business workshops, one of the benefits is you're going to be seated next to entrepreneurs. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on the testimonials button, you're going to be seated next to entrepreneurs that are all having massive success. You're going to be in a room, Dave, where let me just show people some stats here real quick. And I'm sorry, my internet's foggy, but let me give an example. Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default. Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail. That's Inc. magazine. The U.S. debt clock reports now in our country today, we have 341 million people that live here, and we only have 9 million self-employed people. So by default, only 2.7% of our population is even self-employed. I know it's a lot of data there for you, but only 2.7% of our population is even self-employed to begin with, and 96% of those fail. 96% of those businesses fail. So by default, you only have a 1 out of 1,000 shot of making it as a business owner. So why do the Thrive Time Show business conference clients succeed? Why do these doctors, dentists, lawyers, home remodelers, why do they succeed? And I want to start by asking you, Dave. Dave, why do you think that the people at the conferences are, by and large, almost entirely success stories? Why is it that the average business owner has a 1 in 1,000 shot of making it by default? The average American has a 1 out of 1,000 shot of succeeding by default as a business owner. Yet when you're at the conference, the room is filled with super successful organizations and entrepreneurs. Why is that?
Because that's the group of people that are set apart from the rest that are not making it. The 4% that are versus the 96% that are not. They're taking massive action. And when they go to one of these conferences, not only do they learn 1 or 2 key things, they learn all systems to keep their business and grow their business, which I've never seen another business coach do it the way you do it.
So, Dave, I want to bring this up, and I'll try to mention my perpetual internet fog and the Sherwood only diet as teaching examples here. What you want to do is you want to set SMART goals. So if you're watching today's show and you say, I am perpetually stuck and I want to get unstuck. If you're watching today's show and you say, my internet is also foggy. My internet's foggy, Dave. My internet's foggy. I want the fog to stop. How do I do? We want to set SMART goals. So specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time sensitive. So, Dave, I'll tell you what I was doing off air as I was trying to fix the internet. Specific, the internet is foggy. People are watching right now going, you are a blurry dude. What is wrong? There's something wrong, right? Okay, so that's specific. Measurable. I get on the phone with the Cox representative. I'm going, hey, I need the internet to be not foggy. And they go, okay. So specific, measurable. Action. action. Specific, measurable action. All right, action. What is the action? And I love the wonderful people at Cox. They actually did a very good job. I love that they're telling me that, hey, we're gonna get out there. I just want to know when. Specific, measurable, actionable. Like when are you coming out? Realistic. Now, here's the part that's not super exciting. We have an alternative coming out to our office, an alternative internet supplier that we've looked at as well, that's supposed to be setting up and installing a new alternative higher powered internet connection on September 9th, which is September 9th? What day is it now? July 22nd? So, wow, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic. So what's going to happen is the Cox guys going to come out here today and reset our internet. They're going to reset the router, perhaps switch out to a new modem. They'll do things they want to do, things they need to do. But the alternative internet provider, which I also was dealing with, I was dealing with, this person said, yeah, September 9th is when we're bringing the other connection. And then time sensitive. You got to set a time sensitive goal. And I want to really obsess on this on today's show because so many people, they read great books, they go to seminars, they watch great shows, they listen to radio talk personalities, they read books about success, they've watched The Apprentice. And by the way, Eric Trump is going to be speaking at that conference September 25, 26. People know Eric Trump from The Apprentice, but how do we take the big goal and turn it into specific, measurable, actionable, and realistic time-sensitive goals? So let's get into it. So specific. Dave, with your, I don't know if we can pull up, if your producer can pull it up, but you guys have a specific piece of land that you guys have purchased for hisglory.me, right? You guys have bought a specific piece of land that you're developing into a praise and worship center. Am I getting that right, Dave?
Yeah, that's correct. It's 22 acres on our 186 acres on a ranch in Texas.
It's specifically there, though. I'm not looking for the address, but you get the idea, folks. There's a specific piece of land. Now, as a general idea, at a certain point, it was a general idea that you wanted to purchase land in Texas. Do you remember, Dave, when it occurred to you that you wanted to purchase the general idea that you wanted land in Texas? Do you remember when that happened or where that idea first occurred?
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago, and actually, we closed the deal riding with you and General Flynn to reawaken from Tulsa to Missouri.
I remember that. We were in the white van. General Flynn said he wanted to test drive the white van. We were pumping gas with General Flynn driving down there. I remember that. So Specifically, though, everybody watching today's show, I want you to think about your life right now. Think about where you're at right now versus where you want to be. In my case, the internet, I don't want it to be foggy, Dave. Dave, I don't want it to be foggy. Dave, I want to be more aerodynamic. Thus, I'm eating only the Sherwood products, right? So specific, right? What is the specific goal? Specific. I want the internet to be less foggy. We want to be more aerodynamic. We want to weigh less. We want to grow a successful company. Specific. It's so important that you sit down with specificity and that you write down your goals. Specifically, Dave, in my office right now, I picture my office, my campus, the place that I live and work. Before I met you, Dave, I purchased this property. And I picture it as it's going to be like the silver dollar city of business. We're going to have waterfalls and pine trees and trees everywhere. It's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a glorious, beautiful property. And I picture it in my mind, but in order to turn that into reality, I have to set specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-sensitive goals. And so, Dave, I specifically bought this land. I have specifically drawn out on a chart, on a piece of white paper I drew out. I kind of sketched out my vision. And I know specifically where I want those trees. I know specifically where I want those waterfalls to go. I know specifically where I want the water features. Dave, I know specifically where I want the decorative rock to go. And I know how much it's going to cost. But it starts with being specific. And Dave, if we're not careful, why do we as a human, as a general, why are we thinking in terms of general terms? And why aren't we by default thinking specifically? Why are we thinking about big, broad goals and not specific action steps by default?
Because we fall back to the rest of the people doing their day-to-day mundane things, and we just don't keep that sharp edge. You got to keep that sharp edge, always getting better, stronger, and better every day. Times are changing.
Silicon Valley Bank, they could talk about poor management. I know a lot has been said about that.
So all this stuff that they called us crazy about years ago, is now all of it's coming true.
He said that there's instability everywhere. It's panning out today, certainly in the banking sector. For how long is anyone's guess?
I'm gonna probably pick up some more too, because I know it's happening and I feel it happening.
The reason I call it God's money is you can't fake it. You know, you can fake it with a fake ETF, like a gold ETF or a silver, which I don't touch because it smells as bad as the guys that printed that crap.
Starting March into April into May. So it's going to be crazy what's coming, and those that are prepared are just really going to be celebrating like they've never celebrated before.
You need to have those smaller coins to be able to barter with. Visit our partner, Beverly Hills Precious Metal Exchange, on His Glory Family Partners.
President Trump has a bold new vision to help secure America's future through the power of cryptocurrency. Partnering with pioneers like Elon Musk, he's turning crypto into the next frontier of financial freedom. But how can you advance your retirement in this digital age? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the world's first AI-driven platform designed to help your cryptocurrency investments thrive. Thousands of retirees nationwide are already securing their futures with Block Trust IRA and receive up to $2,500 in funding bonuses. The experts in accelerating wealth retirement.
Now, Dave, I'm going back to you almost immediately. Measurable, and I'm not asking for the specific number, but I'm saying measurable. You know what it costs to build this praise and worship center. You know what kind of equipment you need, audio, visual. You know the facilities that you believe God's called you to build, and you know what it's going to cost. And somewhere, whether that number is public or private or whatever, at some point that number's being, architects are maybe working, people are drawing plans, maybe you're meeting with audio, visual professionals. But Dave, why do you eventually have to have a measurable number? Like, why does it, once we get specific about where the land's going to be and what we want to do and how we want our business to be someday and how much weight we want to lose, why do we eventually have to get some kind of metric in place, some kind of number?
You got to know exactly, you got to set a number to hit your goal. If it's just generic, you'll never get it. And the costs keep going higher and higher and higher, and you don't have a realistic way to get it. You set that goal high and you put a plan together to hit that goal. That's key.
Now, the next is actionable. I see this, Dave, in corporate America. Dave, I'm sure you've never seen this, but I see it in corporate America where everything has to be another meeting. And so in corporate America, everything has to be another meeting. Let me give you an example. This would never happen at His Glory or any place I've ever been around. But people, rather than doing anything, they'll go, you know what? Let me see you. I'll send you an invite. Let's get on a call. And that's not action, but it feels like action. Another example, lawyers love to research stuff. I can't tell you, and this isn't an attack against the current administration. This is just an attack about politics in general. You always hear people say, you know what? We're going to launch an investigate. We are going to launch and investigate. We are going to investigate, and we are going to not stop investigating until we get to and people have been investigating JFK's unfortunate assassination for a long time. This just in, people are like, we demand accountability. We want to know Desert Storm. Was there weapons of mass destruction or not? And we're going to get down to the bottom of this as soon as we figure out what happened with 9/11 and MLK and the moon. The moon. We're going to figure out what happened with the moon, and then we're going to figure out JFK. And I'm launching an investigation, and I want to know, is that actually the Plymouth Rock, or is that just a rock that somebody said was Plymouth Rock? And did we come here on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, or was that just... We're launching an investigation, and my administration will not stop until we get to the bottom. I'm 44 years old, Dave. I don't know how many times I've heard that, but people in business, they want to do it. They want to launch an investigation. They want to form a meeting. Dave, that's not action. And I think people get that wrong. In business, everybody wants to set another call, set another meeting, book another meeting. They want to, and you hear it all the time, business. Well, we're going to research that. That's also not an action item. Research, book a meeting, and investigate. These are three traps. I hear it every day. I work with churches, pastors of churches. This is a church. I'll be very vague. I'm going to get myself in trouble. This pastor says, guys, we're out of parking. So this week, I need you guys to come up with a parking plan. We'll meet next week, and I want to know how much it's going to cost to add 50 additional parking spaces. We come back to the next meeting, and the guy who's supposed to research it and figure it out, he says, well, Pastor, I can tell you this. I've determined that there's going to be multiple ways, and we need to book a call to really do our research to get into that. And let's book a call because we need to research this. And I tell the pastor, this is the third call I've been on in a row where this guy's going to research and book a call. And booking a call and research is not actually building a parking lot. We need to know specific, S.M.A.R.T, specifically where we want it, measurable, how much is it going to cost, and action. When are you going to do it? In my case, it's a sad answer, but it's true. September 9th is when the new internet provider is going to come in. Now, the people are going to reinstall or recalibrate the internet. They're coming by today. So Cox is coming by today. But I won't even have the alternative internet provider until September 9th. But Dave, again, I want to help somebody out there. If we're not careful, Dave, why is it that every call, form a committee, do research, or launch an investigation? Why is that, Dave, that we just can't arrest the bad guys in government or build the parking lot or do the thing? What is it that prevents people from taking action?
I think a part of that is what you just said, that, most people have worked for other corporations. Inside those corporations, they're exactly that. My days at AT&T as a director, it was meeting after meeting to set up another meeting to get another meeting. I got in trouble from human resources because I was out making sales calls with my sales reps. And then I finally said to the CEO of the company, aren't I the director of sales for AT&T? Would you rather be me in front of our clients making sales or in a building taking an extra meeting? He finally got it.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm not playing solitaire. I'm not distracted. I'm just pulling this Bible verse here because this is a biblical-based show. Dave, there's this character in the Bible called Jesus. What? Jesus? Yeah. And Jesus got to a point in Matthew chapter 21 where he says Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all that were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. Dave, Jesus flipped the tables. He said, enough, we're done. Dave, you remember that story where Jesus was supposed, his parents couldn't find him, and they're going, where's Jesus? Where is he? And remember that Jesus was doing in the temple, yep. Right? And his mom and dad, they're going, where were you, little Jesus? And he says, I was in the temple doing my father's business. Remember that? There was a guy, he said, Jesus, I can't follow you right now. It's not a convenient time. I have a funeral to get to. Jesus says, did you just say you had a funeral to get to? Again, I'm paraphrasing, but Jesus says, let the dead bury their dead.
Yep.
Home skillet. Let's go. Again, there's got to be an action. There has to be. I'm so passionate about this because there's somebody watching today's show. You are perpetually locked. You are not losing weight. You are not growing a business. You are not having success. You are in a hypnotic rhythm of just, I don't even know if it's mediocrity, if it's monotony, if it's just frustration, if it's mental constipation. What? Is it mental constipation? What is the problem? So specific, measurable, actionable, realistic. It's got to be realistic. There has to be. So again, the internet, they're going to bring in a new internet connection into my building September 9th. I mean, it's before the conference. Is it what I want it? No, but it's realistic. I just wanted the person on the phone. I'm like, listen, I can't see. I'm supposed to be live on the show right now. So I talked to, there's two people over here. I said, hey, you call the internet company we've been waiting on, and you tell me when Cox can come out to restart the routers. The router guy says, sir, they're on the phone. They're coming by today. I said, what time? They said 3:00. Okay, boom. You over here. You on the phone? When's this guy coming by? Haven't we been waiting on this guy? They go, he said September 9th. Okay, good. But it's realistic. Mm-hmm. It's realistic. It's realistic. It's real. It's not a charlatan, we'll do our best. I'll get back to you. We'll try our best. Now, again, I'm just helping somebody out there. Saying I'm going to try my best to research that, let's book a call. We'll investigate it. That's not action, okay? It's got to be realistic. To build this incredible facility, this praise and worship facility, it's going to cost a specific amount of money. And we got to be realistic about what it costs. Dave, if people want to donate, by the way, to support building this praise and worship center, how do they do that? If someone says, hey, I want to make a $10 donation right now to build this praise and worship center, if I want to donate $1,000, how can people do that if they want to sow a seed into your ministry? How do they go about doing that?
They can go to hisglory.me and put a donation and just put in the tagline for the new worship center. We will have a dedicated donation button very soon. We are doing the 3D blueprints of the facility as we speak.
By the way, folks, I'm not this serious. The screen just froze again. That's what it's about. So it's specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, it's realistic, it's time sensitive. Time sensitive. Look, it's serious. I look all the time. Time sensitive. Got to have a time sensitive nature to that which needs to be done. Look how serious I look, folks. You got to have a time sensitive. I'm looking at the world going, we could have done better. Time sensitive, folks. You've got to have a time sensitive nature to what you're doing. So often we don't actually set a deadline for stuff. What's a deadline mean? It means the time when something is supposed to be dead if it's not done. Okay. So we got to set a timeline. So let's all go to thrivetimeshow.com. We go to thrivetimeshow.com. I'm pulling up right now. Hopefully it works on the screen here. I'm going to thrivetimeshow.com. Our upcoming conference, this is not a charlatan thing. This is a real thing. This is not a guest. This is a real thing. We have our upcoming conference. It's taking place in 64 days. You can get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Thrivetimeshow.com. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, September 25, 26, September 25, 26. When is it? September 25, 26. Where is it? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Who's going to be there? Pastor Dave Scarlett, Amanda Grace, Julie Green, Mel K. How much is it going to cost? It's $250 or whatever price you can afford. Do you have tickets left? We have 119 tickets left. 119 tickets left. So if you want to change your life, if you want to go from barely surviving to thriving, just go to thrivetimeshow.com. What's that website? thrivetimeshow.com. You can also text for faster service. You can text the number 918-851-0102. That's 918-851-0102.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called DJconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and people that parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 a.m. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's why I was on Clay, this technology you tell your group, I was so impressed. Because like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive. But I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business, or was that something that you were maybe excited about, or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.